Okay. So I'd like to begin by welcoming everyone, and especially welcoming Tana Janachalo. Thank you for joining us this afternoon for us, this morning for you. And so Ajanachalo is going to give us some encouragement for our pilgrimage in Thai Gamlang Jai. So as many of you know, he's a veteran of these India pilgrimages. So yes, please, Tanajan, you can have the floor for 15, 20 minutes, however long feels appropriate.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. So as a little preface, I attended 2 of 4 holy sites pilgrimages as a participant, and then I led 4. So I've been on a holy site pilgrimage 6 times in India over the past period of 25 years. And I've also spent about a year and a half of my life in Bodh Gaya practicing meditation retreats. So I'm a little bit familiar with the territory. And Ajahn Naniko's asked me to say some things. So I think one thing that is helpful to consider, and I remind myself of this myself, when going to India, particularly when going to Bihar and Uttar Pradesh, which are the 2 poorest states in India. It's a bit like going to another planet, and it's not the same there in many respects as more developed countries, and so one just has to kind of. I think it's good to process that before going. That we shouldn't have our usual set of assumptions about the way things should be. I think one of the most important things and helpful things when going to India is understanding that it's different and being willing to. We have to put some work in being willing to accept it as it is. So it's so just like having that understanding. It's not like where I'm coming from. It is different, and it's much bigger than you. That's another thing. Excuse me. Another thing to contemplate is you're going to a country with 1.5 billion people, and it's different to the place that you've come from. And so it's good to have these. It's good to put a bit of thought into this because it's humbling in a good way. And humility is very helpful for a spiritual practitioner. So it's like certain things like Kunlekshi arranges the nicest hotels, the nicest buses, the nicest food. But I'm just letting you know, the overall experience, the overall theme of your trip is not that it's going to be a luxury tour of India. That's not the case. You get the nice hotel because you need to sleep at the end of the day when you're exhausted. You get the better food because you need to nourish yourself when maybe there is a fabulous buffet, but Ajahn Yaniko is not letting you eat that because you have to get up at 4 a.m. and get on the bus and go at 5 and climb some mountain and compete with goats and cows and beggars and monkeys. And you'll be walking past the buffet, smelling it and not being able to eat it. So it's like you have to understand that. I'm sure you do understand. You're going with a spiritual intention. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Lord Buddha did describe in the Mahaparinibbana Sutta that for those who go and pay respects to the 4 principal holy sites with a heart of faith, that it is spiritually beneficial, conducive to heavenly rebirth. And he used an interesting phrase. He said, and will be of benefit for a long, long, long time. So what does that mean? That means that however longer you are in samsara, working towards your liberation, the kind of blessings that you will accrue on going on a sacred pilgrimage will be a tremendous support to you. That will manifest as the merit is particularly associated with the path of liberation and with enlightenment. That's what we're going to pay respects to. Lord Buddha was enlightened under that Bodhi tree. Because we respect that, the principle of enlightenment, the fact of enlightenment, we go and we're paying respect to that. The teaching that he gave in the deer park, where Anya Kondanya was the proof that others can realize the liberation that the Buddha realized, and the Panchavagi, the 5 disciples, became arahants when Lord Buddha taught the Anattalakkhana Sutta. It's a principle of when one practices Buddha Dhamma correctly, one can see the Dhamma and be liberated by it, just as Lord Buddha was. So we go with respect for that, and we go with the aspiration to realize that, and we go with the intention of requesting blessings to be supported along that path. So I really do believe that it creates enormous merit if we go with a mind of faith and if we remember what we're there for. And but try to suspend one's usual assumptions about how human societies should function. I mean, that's a big ask, I understand. But the degree to which you can go with the intention of allowing India to be India. And another thing that's helpful, I do this to myself a lot, is we remind ourselves that I'm a guest in this country. It's their country. It's not my country. There's more of them than there are of me. It's my appropriate attitude in this situation is to be a little bit inward, a little bit quiet, a little bit reflective, and have a different. And then in saying that, I'll give an example, I suppose. Like it wouldn't be an uncommon experience, for example, that you're waiting in a queue, being civil and polite and respecting each other's space a little bit. And if you've left a little bit of space in front of you, that it's not uncommon for an Indian or a Tibetan to squeeze in that space right past you. And normally that offends most of us, as a sense of I'm waiting in line appropriately with manners and a sense of what's right. But if you give a little bit of space, oftentimes someone jumps into that space, and they might not have the same level of hygiene as you. They may not be able to afford the soaps and the perfumes that you can. So sometimes there might be some body odor as well. It's like, so someone gets in your face and they might be a bit rude. They might be chewing betel nut. They might look at you like, what's your problem? And our job then is not to make it a problem. It's like, I'm coming as a spiritual pilgrim with a humble attitude. I'm coming to pay respects to where Lord Buddha got enlightened, and I'm a guest. Now, if one can have that attitude, and the reason I mention it is, if you're willing to allow India to be India, Mother India, then in my experience, she teaches us and she blesses us. But that only happens if we're receptive and open to teachings and to blessings. So it's often in life, when we take a big risk or you take a leap of faith, you're willing to practice with more uncertainty, more discomfort, having to get up earlier, sit on the floor, put up with more painful feelings, then it does something to the mind. It opens it to blessing as well. When we step out of our normal habits, normal perspective, and go with an open mind, you will find that just as there are occasions that impinge upon you and seem offensive, there will be other moments where something happens which is deeply touching or humbling or inspiring. It just goes with the territory that when you're stepping out on the road of the pilgrim, India is also a beautiful place, and as beautiful as it is awful, I would say. And they go together. It's like night and day. And one thing I'd mention about India is it's remarkable in the world. I suppose Bhutan and Nepal would be similar, but it's remarkable in as much as everybody everybody in that country is doing a kind of a deva nusati. Everyone has a god. And so if you, even on the tuk-tuks, the rickshaws, there'll be stickers of deities. Some of them I don't even know. I've been to India 18 times. It's like there's this pantheon of deities. If you do go through Varanasi, there's little shrines to Ganesha, Lakshmi, Durga, little shrines everywhere. And every car will have a little, if it's a Hindu, every car will have a little statue. Every mirror will have some amulets or some flowers dangling from it. Some of the taxi drivers, the tuk-tuk drivers, literally offer incense to the deity at the front of their tuk-tuk every morning. And so in that regard, India to me seems like it's like the heavens are closer there. The parallel realms are closer there because everybody's invoking them. Everybody's praying to something, and there's always some festival or other. It wouldn't be. It's quite likely that your bus will have to stop while some religious parade passes by, and and things like the idea that certain types of, well, the cows are considered to be holy, and a certain type of monkey is considered to have an association with Hanuman. And it's just a interesting, different way of experiencing this human realm. I suppose you could say it's less materialist. And at the same time, that doesn't mean that people aren't greedy. And it doesn't mean that they won't try to deceive you to get money. But one of the things I think to mention, do you land in Bodh Gaya, Rajan? Yeah.
Yes, we land in
Okay.
Bodh Gaya. Yeah.
Okay. So putting a little bit of thought into it, look, Bodh Gaya is where Lord Buddha, after millions and millions of lives cultivating virtue, finally had his final liberation, his enlightenment. This makes it the best place to set your aspiration with regards to your enlightenment. So if you can put some thought into the type of enlightenment that you want. So what do I mean by that? The enlightenment experience will be similar no matter what the outcome, the specifics. But some people know that they want to be an arahant as quickly as possible and hopefully attain to stream entry this lifetime. So if you know that, then this is the place to make that aspiration. And I have faith in Lord Buddha's enlightenment. Lord Buddha was enlightened here. And keep in mind as well that the previous three Buddhas were enlightened in this same place, and Maitreya Buddha will also be enlightened in this place. So this is the seat of enlightenment in this universe. And I'll give you a little bit of inside information just to try to inspire you a little bit. Tanajan Anan told me that at least 10,000 devas are circumambulating the Vajrasana at any time, day or night. And many of them have come from other universes because they come to pay respects to the radiance of the Vajrasana. And so when you're there and it's right in front of you, that's a very, very potent place to get clear on your goal and make your sincere aspiration. But some people may want to have, some people may feel resonance with some Mahayana practices. Some people may feel a little bit torn. I talk to people quite often where they can't fully commit to trying to become a Sotapanna this lifetime because they want to help a certain number of beings, and 7 lifetimes seems too short, but they don't want to commit to being a Buddha. People, I'm in Southeast Asia, so there's a lot of people with Chinese ethnicity who grew up with Kuan Yin and things like this, so they're exposed to this altruistic aspiration as well. But if you can get clear on your goal, when you make your aspiration there, so if you know that you want to be a teaching Buddha, you don't have to tell everybody. Maybe you have this quiet. You don't dare tell everybody, but deep in your heart of hearts, you know you want to be a Buddha. Well, then this is the place to say it. And maybe you don't know. Maybe what you want is clarity. What is my aspiration about what kind of enlightenment I want? But some people do want to have the miracle of teaching. Some people want to be able to teach others depending on their character. Some people might want some kind of middle way towards this. They want to help some beings, but they don't want to stick around for billions of lives. So just get clear about what your quality of aspiration is and make it there. The reason I say that is because, as I mentioned, the devas are closer here. And so when we have a different kind of aspiration, then we'll attract different kinds of supports. There may be a certain type of deva that got enlightened quickly. There are devas who are arahants. Just because they became arahants, they didn't evaporate. They live for the remainder of that life as a deva who's an arahant. There may be devas who are listening who also had the fast arahant path, who want to support others who have that aspiration. If your aspiration is more bodhisattva-like, there definitely are devas that want to support bodhisattva practitioners. That's a form of merit for them as well. So if we can be clear on our aspiration, and if we make it there very, very sincerely, this is going to be very helpful for attracting the kind of supports that you want on your path towards enlightenment. So, and this is a rare and special opportunity to be able to make those aspirations and request those blessings of support. And when you go to the place where the bodhisattva practice the extreme of austerities, the Dungasviri, the austerity cave, that's kind of a good place to make aspirations. If you need to be more determined in a certain area, this is the place where the bodhisattva practiced the absolute epitome of determination. He said that it is possible that another spiritual practitioner suffered as much as he did in this place when he practiced his austerities for 6 years, but it's not possible that any practitioner suffered more. So the reason I mention that is incredible sincerity, incredible determination when the bodhisattva was trying to find the escape hatch, the door to the deathless. He did it through patient endurance, not allowing his mind to enter any kind of samadhi, just patiently enduring with painful, racking feelings for 6 years. This is a good place to kind of make a vow. It's like, I will, until I die, sit meditation every day, let my blood dry up. It's like if you climb up that hill early in the morning and you're in that place, and it's the kind of place that if you make an aspiration there, you'll remember it. And it helps us take our own aspirations seriously when we do these kind of things. It's like, but with regards to that, I wouldn't encourage you to bite off more than you can chew. So with regards to making your adhitanas, make it something achievable, because you don't want to come back, not keep it, and then really feel really bad that I made this vow in this special place and didn't keep it. So make it something that you need to work on, but that's something it is achievable. And then this is how we work with our adhitana barami, is that we increase our capacity a little bit, and then a little bit more, and then a little bit more. But most people can commit to sitting every single day until they die, unless they're sick or traveling. I think that's a good standard. Like if it's time to sleep and you haven't sat yet, you just sit for 15 minutes. You just establish that kind of, just like you wouldn't not bathe or brush your teeth, you're not going to fall asleep without cleaning your mind a little bit. So you make these kind of aspirations. Forgiveness, Lord Buddha explains that there's different types of practicing generosity. And as we know, dana, sila, bhavana, this is the path to liberation. Dana, I think, are you going to try to make a donation to the Root Institute or something, Yaniko?
I didn't think of Root Institute. I hadn't thought of a list of donations for different places yet.
Yeah, I
So
do think it's a good thing to put aside a little bit of money to one of the things that I found helpful. You're going to see a lot of poverty, a lot of people experiencing difficulty. One thing that helps me is to know that I've made a gesture, a generous gesture towards it. So it's like just doing that helps. And there is a place in Bogai that I trust called the Root Institute that has an orphanage and a free school and a women's clinic and an animal shelter, etc. So, and even if you don't have time to go there, you could probably trust Gautam to make the donation and bring back a receipt. It's something about making a gesture towards the poverty that just feels good. And there's a karma, understanding karma. So India's a big teacher like that. So First time I went and I came back, I was depressed for a couple of months, but things were more harsh 25 years ago. In general, people seem to be doing a bit better. You'll see the smallest little fruit vendor on the side of the road has a mobile phone, and people are watching TikTok or whatever. And the Indian version of that, they are happier. They can talk to their mum back in the village or their wife back in the village, and they have more meat on their bones. But even so, you will see polio victims or people who've had leprosy and things that you might not see on every day. But as I was talking about dana, Lord Buddha also says a higher practice of dana is the practice of forgiveness. So, and also I think, in terms of working with the impingement, if someone's rude to you or harsh to you or does actually rip you off, maybe Ajahn Yannicka gave you 15 minutes to go shopping and you ran out and you got a shawl and you came back and your friend tells you, I'm sorry, that's actually not pashmina. And it's like, well, the guy said it was. Well, he lied to you. It's like, if something like that happens, you just have to accept, okay, maybe I ripped somebody off, you know, maybe I lied to somebody, maybe I cheated somebody, maybe I stole something. This is my karma ripening. If we stop blaming the outside, take more responsibility, this helps us to suffer less. And just finding a way to let it go, basically, and then offering forgiveness. Just probably at the end of the day, each day, am I accumulating grudges? Am I becoming more bitter and angry during my time in India, or am I being humbled by the nature of samsara? Before you sleep each day, is there anyone I need to forgive? And that might be your fellow pilgrims. It might be Ajahn Yannicka if he makes you sit for too long in the sun and then in the rain or get up too early or whatever. It doesn't let you rest as much as you want. But forgive people on a daily basis. And I guess the other thing I'd like to mention, because I believe it's uh, valuable, is start dedicating merit now to any beings that you may have harmed in India or any beings that you have karmic connections with, positive or negative. So at the end of your set, I dedicate merit to all beings who I have karmic connections with in India. If I've ever harmed anybody there, may they forgive me. I'm going to India. I will make more merit and I will dedicate more merit to you. Why do I say that? Because the likelihood of injury or sickness is less if you dedicate merit to beings who you may have harmed. And we've all harmed beings. And India is a very, very ancient culture. If you go to Varanasi, it's been a city for 5,000 years. So you might have been there and you might have been good to some beings and you might have been not good to other beings. And so dedicating merit to any beings karmically connected through good, neutral, or unskillful actions. So things do happen. I've had one student break a toe, kicking her toe walking up Vulture's Peak. I had another student break a foot bone while walking down the steps in Bodh Gaya. And it was fascinating. I had this intuition. I said on the bus, the steps are not even, the lighting is not bright. Whenever you're walking down the steps, be very, very mindful. I'd literally just said that, and one of the pilgrims still fell down the steps and broke a bone. So despite our best efforts, stuff happens. Now, because there was a lot of metta and a lot of mutual support in the group, that actually ended up not being a problem. Like she went and got a cast on her foot, we got a wheelchair, and people were happy to push her around the holy sites for the rest of the trip, and it worked out fine. And but yes, if one can lessen the possibility of such things, it's good. And I remember once Joyce, student from Malaysia, we were sitting in Jetavana. We were already sitting about to, and then we were going to do some chanting, and out of the blue, a monkey just jumped on her and bit her. So it's like that kind of thing can happen. But if you and a couple of things have happened to this woman, Joyce. She's been to India with me, I think, 6 times, and Ajahn Anan recently told her, "You can't go to India anymore." Because it turns out that she's made some bad karma in India, and there are some beings there waiting for her. So and she's been enough. So I don't know which of you have which kind of karma, but there, with 60 people, some of you may have some challenging karma there. So dedicate merit before you go. The other thing I do is I mention dedicate merit to my guardian angels. So if there are any devas who protect me, I dedicate merit to those as well, and I invite them. If you want to come on the pilgrimage with me, come and make merit. Then if you all, you might not be able to see this, but if you're, there's a kind of a courtesy in the deva realms. Apparently, sometimes they want to help, but they have to be invited. So maybe your guardian angel wants to come, but you didn't invite them yet. So it's like you send out the message. If there are benevolent forces in the universe that want to come along, who will support you and the group, invite them. So you do your chanting, do your meditation, chant, then dedicate merit to the devas, dedicate merit to your karmic debtors. Remember your aspiration, and you're going to establish an even deeper commitment to realizing your ultimate potential, the enlightenment principle, Buddha potential, Buddha nature, and understanding that if you do this with a heart of faith and put good effort into it, it will be of your benefit for a long, long time. Last thing I'll say is many people have the experience of when they're in India and they're struggling with more noise, more dust, more human impingement. It can feel a little bit overwhelming, but it's made up for by the deeper feelings of rapture, deeper feelings of peacefulness, kind of awesome, kind of humbling insights. And it is very often the case that people who had a challenging time go back home, and when they remember India, they don't remember the hard parts. They remember the joyful parts. They remember the peaceful parts, and they remember the joy of like stepping out of your life and having the like for myself as an abbot, we've got building projects, all sorts of projects, books and websites, the stuff that modern abbots do and teachers do. For myself, as soon as I get on the plane, being able to leave all of that behind, I instantly feel lighter because I'm stepping out on the path of the pilgrim. Don't have to take all those other duties. I just need to do my duty of being a pilgrim, chanting, meditating, contemplating Buddha Dhamma, setting my aspiration, honoring my goals. And so, embrace that opportunity to put down your life for a while, increase your merits. But what I was going to say is many people have the experience when they get back home of it takes a month or two, and then the feeling will come back, I want to go back again. And many people are surprised by this. I met one or two people that never want to go to India ever again. But of the hundreds of people that I know, 99 out of 100, they want to do it again. And if you do it again in the future, like suppose you might just go to Bodh Gaya for 10 days, once you become familiar with the place and develop an appreciation, then that becomes a possibility. It's like you can go and do your own 10-day retreat in Bodh Gaya. And so I've probably said enough. I rejoice in your aspiration and your opportunity. And please support your teacher, Ajahn Nyaniko, on this occasion. And I believe you are fortunate in as much as you have 9 Sangha members that will help the chanting and the pujas and the meditations. The more good monks there are, that tends to be helpful. But one of the ways that we show our support for the teacher is when he says on the bus at 5, you should be on the bus at 5 to 5. And one of the things I noticed with my group, I went with a whole bunch of Singaporeans who are, notorious for being well behaved. And even the Singaporeans, because we were staying in this nice hotel and they're having a coffee, and I was walking onto the bus, and some of them were like, connecting with their coffee and enjoying the lobby, and didn't quite want to go outside into the dust and the beggars and the hawkers. And I'm like, I had to remind them, no, be careful of this inertia, the wanting to stay in your cocoon of your room and your soft warm bed and your hot water and your cappuccino. Time to go, it's time to go. This is how you show your support to your Ajahn. Don't just be on time, be early. And don't watch him walk past in the lobby and keep him waiting. That is not helpful. So, so I hope something in my meandering reflection was helpful to you. I wish you every blessing and support and great insight on your holy pilgrimage in India.
Sadhu, sadhu. And Tanajan, I just want to thank you for making this possible because without you and introducing myself to Kunlek and without yourself introducing me to the practice in Bodh Gaya and so on, none of this would be possible. So this is also your merit. So this is
Ah, I do. So
extended. So
I get a percentage. Excellent, excellent,
you get a cut. You get a
excellent,
cut.
awesome. Well, I like measuring merit in mountains, as you know. So a little merit is a good
Maybe
thing.
half a mountain.
A little mountain.
And of course, you'll be there for the much of our meditation retreat that we do in Bodh Gaya. So of course,
Yes, if
see
things go to plan,
Ajahn
I'll see
in
you
Bodh
there under
Gaya.
the Bodhi tree. So
Yeah. So
still working on
we'll
my
be there.
goals there. So
We'll be there together, and we'll be rooting for Ajahn as he's trying to reach his goal of 5,000 hours of sitting under the Bodhi tree.
yeah, I've got to go 3 more times to fulfill that, fulfill the goal. So yeah,
I'm
so
trying to get to 2,000, and I've currently got only 1,188.
you can do it. You can do it.